Hello and welcome everyone to the How They Did It interview series. This is where I get to talk to my beloved graduates about their experience of their 90-day experience in my program, the Thriving Studio Owner Program. And I have a really special guest for you guys today who I'll introduce in a moment. But for those of you guys who don't know me, my name is Kiki Lovelace, and I am the owner and director of education at Interstellar Pilates and Yoga Studio that's been around here in Berkeley since 2011 for quite some time. And I'm also the founder and lead business growth mentor at the Thriving Studio Owner Program and my couple of graduate programs that I also teach. My thing that I do with my people is I teach them how to double or triple their income while reducing their hours to 20 hours per week or less. And I give them all these tools to learn how to do that in my 12-week program. And so I'm really excited to welcome one of my newest graduates. This is Jennifer Zenner Clark, and she is an incredible person in and of herself, has been through her own healing journey with yoga and with mindfulness for quite some time now. And when she came to me, probably about 4-ish months ago, 3.5-ish months ago, she was looking at opening up her studio at the end of this summer. And, I know you guys, my audience will be watching this, at a later date. And just so you guys know where we're at right now we're currently filming this in May of 2020. So we are in the middle of COVID shutdown. And so Jennifer spent actually most of the program in this land of the global pandemic. And actually, interestingly, so was scheduled to open her brick and mortar in August, in a few months from now. And I can't wait to have Jennifer tell you guys this story today of how going to an online studio, like so many of us have done during the pandemic, she actually opened her studio like much sooner than she thought she would have, and already even has at least one, if not more, autopay members for her virtual studio right now. So this is just a really fun story to tell. And Jennifer, I'd love to welcome you now and have you introduce yourself to my audience and tell them a little bit about your journey and like your brand and really like your big why. Like, why is it that you have this dream of opening this studio, and really what it means to you to be able to see this dream come alive?
Thank you. Thank you for such a nice introduction. You're always so kind. I love it. That's why I like you. You're one of my people. My name is Jennifer Clark, and I'm the owner and operator of Zenner Mobile Yoga. So I started doing yoga about 20 years ago, and then went on this journey of, like Kiki kind of mentioned, healing from trauma and all kinds of things. By the time it was 2012, I decided that I really loved yoga enough that I wanted to share my story and my healing with yoga with other people. I didn't like talking in front of others. I didn't know how I spend an hour trying to teach somebody to do something, but I knew that it was what I was called to do, and I had to do it. So I'm grateful that I at least listened to that, if anything else. So I'm a military spouse, and I have been one for almost 18 years now. So in the middle of getting my teaching certificates, I was a stay-at-home mom. I was a stay-at-home mom for at least a decade of my life. So a lot of my yoga started out with volunteering and, teaching Army units during their PT sessions and things like that, which really, it just brought me a lot of joy. And by the time we were stationed in Colorado, it was time, my kids were a little bit older. It was time for me to start kind of working a little bit outside of the home. And so I decided to see if my current community, which is Fountain, Colorado, wanted yoga. There was no yoga studios around. And I decided through, it was like a divine download to do this mobile yoga thing. I didn't even really know what that was going to look like, but basically in my mobile yoga, before starting this program and opening my studio virtually, I would basically bring, up to 20 yoga mats on site for parties at the park, people's place of employment, things like that. one-on-one sessions in people's homes that weren't comfortable, you know, coming into a studio yet. And it was a good way for me to just kind of start this business. So for the last 6 years, I've been doing that, building a community. The Army surprise moved us one more time before retirement. So yeah. And, you know, I'm really grateful that that happened because I don't think that I would have come into this 12-week program probably in some deep weeds rather than, you know, approaching it from a new, you know, before opening my doors and getting all the tools that I needed ready for that. So I feel much more prepared. Wasn't prepared for the pandemic and didn't know that was going to happen. But again, what I had learned up to the point, I think it was in week 4 or 5 when all of this started, was, you know what, I'm just going to do it. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be 100%. Just going to go for it. And yeah, I have actually 3 autopay members now. So I know, it's so exciting. So yeah, basically my plan is to still open up a studio in Fountain. Currently offering, you know, online stuff just like everybody else right now. And that's pretty much, you know, that's the gist of everything. So I'm on the studio
Awesome.
sooner than I thought, but prepared.
Yeah. So back us up a little bit. Oh, hold on a second. Let me pin my video so that folks can see me. So, all right. So back us up a little bit to before you decided to come in. So I want to acknowledge that, like, I actually love working with studio owners that haven't yet opened their studio. And it's rare that I get the chance to, mainly because most studio owners before they open aren't of the mindset to invest in business coaching and to, like, really from the get-go take themselves extremely seriously as business owners. And so I'm so curious, what the heck went through your head at the outset? And, like, why did you decide to make an investment in a coach before you had even opened your studio?
So that is a good question. So I had extra time, but since I wasn't opening my doors when I thought I would be, I did have this extra time to kind of do some snooping around and talking with other yoga studio owners and what has made their businesses successful. And so many times, I mean, not just your name specifically, but so many times it was like, get a coach. You need a business coach. Like, if you want this to happen, I mean, it could happen, but if you want it to happen, you know, in a successful way, you know, I do want my business to serve me. I do want to make money from it. And I don't want it to suck me dry to where I end up feeling, you know, close to meltdown mode or don't have time for my family. I just knew that I didn't want that. So I was willing to take heed to the suggestions of a business coach. So I had the information that I needed from, you know, researching. I just didn't know how to put all the pieces together, and I needed guidance that way too. Also, one of my, you know, biggest personality, it could be a perk and it could be, you know, the opposite, is my organization skill. It can serve me or it can totally go against, you know, go into perfectionism, which is not serving for me most of the time or any of the time. So I think part of it was that too. I was organized enough to know that I needed someone to help me and guide me. That's how I've really done a lot of things in my life, because I'm part of a program where I need that guidance from other people. But I didn't know that coming into this, that I would be addressing the perfectionist side as well. So it was kind of like, you know, I went into it because of it. And then, you know, also was able to work on that, you know, balance that out a little bit too. So
That is so awesome. So, okay, we got to pause there and talk about that, because I'm sure that you're not the only perfectionist or recovering perfectionist that is in my audience. I know I consider myself a recovering perfectionist, and I feel like studio ownership has actually, like, really actively helped me heal some of those parts of myself. And so, can you tell us, like, give us an example of, in the last 12 weeks of working in my program, like, when did you feel your perfectionism sort of rise up, and how did you weave a new relationship with it? Like, was there some of one of the projects or one of the modules or like an experience that you had that, or was it more of an overall experience?
I would say, I mean, both. Each week, the perfectionism was being addressed, starting from week one. The mindset, like the mindset of, for me, I get a lot of, why am I doing this? What the hell am I actually doing? Why did I choose to do this? I'm not going to be good at it. Even though, and that's why I usually try to overextend by making everything 100% perfect. So the biggest shift happens. I mean, being aware of it helps, but I don't think that matters. Like when you're in the program, the stuff is going to come up and you're going to have to address it, which is cool because I felt very safe in the group. Because I knew I wasn't alone. I knew there was other people that felt that way. But the biggest part was, okay, I'm getting all of my ducks lined up in a row. I'm learning these tools. Yes, mind shift, money stuff. Okay, here's COVID-19. Like, take what you have and just go for it. I think you said those words exactly. Like, your people need you right now. Show up for them. And that was really huge for me because I'm in this game for service work. So sometimes I just need to hear, whether it's another business owner, coach, I just need to hear, like, this is okay to do. And we're going to walk you through it every step. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to do it. Like, I don't feel 100% about it, but let's go for it. So I'm glad that didn't happen in week one, but it was still by week 4 or 5, I was ready to do it. So
Yeah. And like, just so, y'all who are watching this understand, like, we do a lot of rewiring of money mindset and entrepreneur mindset too. Like I know one of the things that me and Jennifer worked on, and I work on this with all my clients, is like the mindset that is the biggest source of support to building a small business is like, this is all a grand experiment. And it's like, we're just going to try this, and we don't want to just try any old thing. I mean, I'm going to share with you guys the tools that I know work in our industry, but we're going to try version 1.0. And then if it doesn't work or doesn't get us exactly the results that we want, we're going to do version 2.0, 3.0, 9.0. Like, we'll just keep going until we get the results we want. So Jennifer, at that point, when COVID hit, had already like gone through a lot of the mindset rewiring and had also designed the pricing menu. So like there was this infrastructure already there. And of course she already had an audience, even though she doesn't have because of the work she's done in the last 6 years to grow her audience, in the town that she's going to be opening in. So she had actually did have a lot of the legwork, in place when COVID hit. And then it was just like, oh, like, and in fact, I feel like at that time, Jennifer, you even had maybe like not signed the lease, but like you had already found the space that you were going to open. So like, it was very real, at that point. And then it was just like, well, if everyone else is going online, why don't we? So yeah, so that's kind of the context of when that happened. But one thing I want to ask you about is like, I know there was it was sort of a big deal for you in witnessing you do the 30-day social media challenge, and just seeing you really hang with that and see it all the way through. I don't give that assignment to all of my people when they come into the program, but when you and I spoke in the welcome call, I just had the sense that you getting kind of bigger and owning your value and being more visible, and also like crumbling any of your resistance to social media, to using social media. I felt like it would be a powerful transformation for you. So can you tell us a little bit about like what that was like for you in those 30 days of posting on social media, 30 days plus actually, because you're still doing it.
Yep, I am. I really don't think I can go back at this point. It doesn't feel like the right thing to do, Well, I just want to like touch on what you had just said as far as the grand experiment. Like owning a business is a grand experiment, though. That was a huge mind shift for me, because I'm very much with the perfectionism comes the all or nothing, black or white thinking. So I've learned and gained a lot of color in my life as a business owner, yeah, so I forgot what you had asked me.
So that, yeah, totally. I think that I saw you seeing that as really helpful. No, my question was about your experience of the social media 30-day challenge, which I actually think is tied into the perfectionism stuff, because you were like all, okay, like it doesn't have to be perfect. Let me just show up for my audience, every single day and see what happens. So tell us about that experience.
It's really funny that it kind of left my head like, oh, I don't even want to think about the fact of how small I used to feel. I mean, really, there's not just showing up for people, through social media, having a voice, having, being seen and being heard. I mean, literally, when I was growing up, I used to be told, can you speak up? I can't hear your voice. I mean, that was like a physical. So working on the voice has been a really lifelong practice for me. And we did that energy work around it was probably halfway through doing the 30 days. Those things did start to bubble up as far as, okay, well, I'm not getting what I'm expecting as far as the responses or, um, you know, maybe what I thought it looked like in my head. And that is another thing with the experiment. It's like, okay, you had said something to me as far as, okay, so you're not getting, the likes that don't transfer over to business and money anyways. But what you are getting is, consistency, showing up for your people on a regular basis. And so when those things bubbled up, that was where I felt that pocket of resistance. Like, okay, it's not, I'm just going to shy back down. And it was a really big breakthrough moment in that call for me when we did that energy work together. That was huge. I mean, I'm going to carry that forever. That was really big. And I feel like just the next day, it just, all right, keep moving forward, I mean, it's not, of course, 100% perfect. There's still times where I question, but I also go to the group, and can bounce off things there too. So
Yeah. And so I want to say that, you're talking about the energy work, and it's actually, I usually don't really do a ton of the energy clearings with my 12-weekers. I usually save them for my alumni program and my year-long mastermind because it is so personal and it's often easier to do in a one-on-one. But I do remember on that group coaching call that day, yeah, it was a lot of your stuff. And I loved how the social media commitment sort of brought it to the surface. And that's true of any transformational coaching work. And like, even just like when you commit to up leveling as a business person or up leveling in any part of your life, even in your yoga practice or in your love relationships or whatever it is, like when you commit to up leveling, your stuff comes up, and it's like though my attitude as a yogi is like, oh, great, I get to clear this now, great, this is bringing this up. So now I get to move through this. And so I know it's personal and I don't want to share any details of that, but is there anything you could say about that energy clearing of like what your takeaway was or what it shifted in your body or in your mindset?
I mean, from a business owner perspective, it really put together the idea that the reason my dharma is to be a yoga teacher, be a business owner, is because that's an opportunity for me to grow as a human being as well. It's not just about, well, I have to do this marketing, I have to post this social media for 30 days. I'm doing that to grow as a person, because those things bubble up to the surface. And with the tools and being aware of like, this is going to happen. It's just a matter of when it's going to happen. And do I have the right, stuff around me to be able to get to to level up. That's like my favorite new, I'm just going to level up. We're all leveling up. We didn't even know we're going to do it. It's happening. All right. I'm ready. It's going to suck, but I'm ready to do it.
That's awesome. That's amazing. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, being uncomfortable. But I mean, seriously, I'd rather be uncomfortable for like 1 or 2 days trying to process things instead of, watching my business sink. I mean, that would be really uncomfortable, right? I don't want that. So I'm willing to do the work.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I feel like most of my people that I tend to attract, I think the same way as you, is like, I'm all for having a successful business that actually provides financially for me and my family. And, for all the reasons, that a business owner would want to get into business, that provides me time freedom, location freedom, all those things. But to me, the juiciness of small business ownership is that it asks you to level up. It asks you to level up in your boundary setting, in your people pleasing stuff, in, owning your value, using your voice and your platform, your position of power and privilege, as an authority, and like all that stuff puts you in the spook zone, like guaranteed, of course, so I love that you see it that way also, and that you kind of like have used, even in these last 3 months, this opportunity, like, okay, let me it's spooky, it's uncomfortable, but let me just stand in the value of this opportunity to grow and to level up, So that's awesome. So, all right. So tell us like what's next for you. I mean, here we are, none of us, it's May 2020. None of us know when exactly we're going to be able to open, although maybe it's different in Colorado. Like for California, I feel like it's going to be a few more months for me at least, but I know that you're still setting your goals each month like we do in the program. And so like, what do you see even before you open the physical doors? What is the next few months going to look like for you? What is it that you want to grow into and continue to develop as a studio owner? Because by the way, you are a studio owner now.
Yeah, that didn't feel real before. It feels so real now. When I think the point where it really started feeling real is when we did the pricing, and did all of that, the pricing strategy. I was like, well, okay, this is happening. And now even just like looking back those few weeks ago, I was like, why was I so scared of that? It was so helpful. In Colorado, they're starting to open things up again. Here, like the big thing for me is that knowing that I have a certain group of people out there, what you call my soul students. I think the old Jennifer would have wanted to rush to open up the doors, stuck with the business plan, that rigid thing. Cause I have a 62-page business plan that I spent a lot of time on. I mean, I'm serious. I mean, that thing is out the window and I'm totally okay with it. Like I'm starting this whole new opportunity for, online yoga, offering in-person yoga, and still keeping my mobile yoga as well. So it's like this new opportunity of 3 different facets of the business, which is really cool. I mean, I would have been so scared of that before and probably wouldn't have changed. I would have wanted to rush to open my doors because if I wasn't there, then, that could be business I'm losing out on. Now I know I have a very specific audience that I serve, and there's going to be times where those people, there's going to be people that come to me, and it's already happened. Are you hot yoga? No, I'm not hot yoga. The hot yoga place is down the road. Like this is what I do here. And I'm okay with that. It feels really good. It does. So, yeah.
Amazing. Awesome.
Working on the goals. Just keep moving forward with that. Those are really exciting. And I'm checking my bank account every day and I have like money in there. So it's pretty neat.
I know. I mean, you already have had like one of your best sales months ever. Like it's so exciting, and with not even having a brick and mortar location. So no, I'm so proud of you. And I've just been really inspired at not only did you finish every single piece of the curriculum and all the homework in the 12 weeks, which is no easy feat. Like I keep you guys pretty busy, during the 12 weeks of curriculum, but also just seeing you sort of like, I want to say like kind of lift up into like, I am a small business owner and like, and just owning that now and the level of confidence I see in you too is just super exciting and inspiring. And, I think of the couple of other studio owners that I've had the privilege of mentoring before they open their doors and how successful they've been. And I just so want that for you. And I see that for you. And I love that it's already happening, So yeah, so I just want to congratulate you for completing this piece. And that you're always welcome in my graduate level programs. I've loved working with you. And so for my audience here and anybody who is in Colorado, can you tell them where they could find you and your website or your social media or anything like that you want to share?
Yeah, thank you. So Fountain, Colorado, which is near Colorado Springs. That's where we're going to be opening our doors, right outside of Fort Carson, military base Fort Carson. You can find information on our schedule and our grand opening at zenermobileyoga.com. And yeah, that's it. You'll see our online stuff there. We'll be doing mobile and then opening our doors in June. We're hoping mid-June. As long as it's safe to do so, we will do it at that time.
Oh my gosh, that's so super duper exciting, amazing. And so for all of you guys who are watching at home, if you're interested in working with me as your business mentor, I will drop the link to our calendar below in the comments. The first step is just like Jennifer did many moons ago, is to schedule a free business breakthrough strategy call with me or one of my team members. And we'll have a conversation with you around your visions, your goals, your big why, like I was talking about with Jennifer, because I find like the people that I can help the most easily they feel like their dharma is to serve in this way, and so I need to make sure you have an extremely big why, because the truth is small business ownership is not for the faint of heart. You have to have a big why in order to walk through some of the hoops and the fires that Jennifer has even described to you in the last like 3 months. And so we'll have that conversation. We'll talk about your goals. And on this free strategy call, I'll also help you, or my team members will help you discover like 4 to 6 things that are kind of on the horizon for you, like the steps that you'll need to take in order to meet your goals. And if those steps do align with our offering, then we may invite you to be one of the mentees we take on this month. So I'll put that link in the comments below. Thank you all for watching, and thank you, Jennifer, so much for being on this interview with me today. I just adore you, and I wish you the best of luck in your opening. That's so exciting.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks. All right, bye, everybody. Have a great day.